Oh.
That was strange.
Oh, okay. Well, that's called my internet dropping for some reason.
Oh, that was unfortunate.
It's been
I just
so polite. I made a joke like an hour ago about my internet being stupid, and it's actually being a little bit stupid. So that's rude. But it looks like we are back and we are stable. And yeah, so we did have that dodge. We're going to get back in the game and see who their actual pick was.
was Vladimir.
Vlad, good old Vlad.
All right, so we're going to see these teams go down the same way that they were. These meaningless picks and bans going, or these meaningless bans going down as the team picks. That Evelyn for Taipei Assassins was in fact a Vladimir, so we're going to see that be the pick for Taipei Assassins. So while we're watching this go down, I'd like to talk a little bit about our sponsor, Arcade. Arcade is a really awesome website. It's a Q&A site, sort of like Reddit, except that unlike Reddit, you earn moderating power by getting your comments and your answers and your questions upvoted. So it's a really great website. They do all video games, not just League of Legends. So it's a great way to get information about games if you're stuck or if you need some help or if you just want to discuss things. And Arcade is a really great sponsor. Go ahead and check out their website. We're doing some contests with our other sponsors like HyperX and Kingston. They are giving away hardware and riot points in a raffle. In order to enter the raffle, what you have to do is like HyperX on Facebook, you like ggChronicle on Facebook, and post the status, tell you what your favorite match of the ggClassic has been or what one you're looking forward to the most, and you can be entered in a chance to win prizes that way. There's also a Q&A session on Arcade. If you get 5 questions, pardon me, if you get 5 upvotes on either a question or an answer that you do during the tournament, you will be entered to win hardware and riot points as well. So a couple of contests going on from all of our sponsors. Go check out Arcade, go check out HyperX and Kingston, go look at all of that stuff. It's on Facebook, so take a look at that as well. It's going to be it's a big party this weekend with free stuff and league tournaments. It's the most fun.
Yeah.
So we're about to get into game right now. The countdown timer is gone, so Cumley and I are here for 3 minutes. It's just me, Cumley, and you guys. 3 minutes.
It's a little fireside chat. Fireside chat. I don't know if you knew this or not, but I like prizes, so I'm going to go enter all of those contests as soon as this game is over.
That's right. You guys have to compete with Cumley's questions and answers, so be prepared.
Good luck. I'm a pro. This is my calling. This is like the Cumley contest. Are you kidding me? All I have to do is get upvotes? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's gonna sweep. He's gonna win all of them. So if you want to get second place, you should enter with
It's true.
Cumley will win.
So while we wait for this little delay phase to be over, I'm gonna run just a couple more ads here, and when we come back, we will just talk about me being awesome.
Awesome.
And we are in commercial mode. Those of you still with us, hello. You're looking quite lovely tonight.
Yes, hello there.
Especially you, KDH.
Oh, thank you, Cumley.
I like your name because it's all letters.
Yeah, it's very easy to say. It rolls off the tongue. Easy to spell. It's also easy to spell.
That's true. I can definitely spell your name.
Yep.
Yeah,
so can I. That's nice.
Do you sign things like just KDH? Like you just write it down? Do you cursive?
I do. I sometimes do cursive. It really depends on how formal I'm trying to be. Yeah. If it's like a formal letter or contract or something,
yeah,
I'll usually do the cursive. If it's like a graph or a check.
I do a full graffiti art every time I sign my name. I do. Yeah.
It takes a couple of hours.
Yeah, I carry several dozen stencils that have to be very carefully layered.
What about do you have spray paint?
Naturally. I mean, if I'm bringing around my stencils everywhere, I'm probably gonna bring the spray paint as well. I carry a tool chest just full of spray paint and stencils
and power fastening and unfastening devices.
Yeah, it's very high
cutting implements.
Operation 3, 2, 1, and we are back from commercial land. For those of you that are so lucky to get amazing advertisements, we are back in here. Just about 30 seconds until we get into the loading screen, and just a little bit from there until we get to this game. Oh my goodness, I'm excited.
So I'm super excited. I want to take a quick look at this Taipei Assassins team with the Janna, Blitzcrank, and Vladimir.
Yeah.
And where do you think we're going to see these champions be played?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna guess we're just gonna see the Vladimir probably go top and the Janna go mid. But the teleport in the Janna does kind of signify that we might see her top, and we have seen that several times as well. It's nothing earth-shattering, especially in certain matchups. And looks like we are going to be getting into the loading screen right now. So probably that Janna top and the Vladimir middle. I actually really like that Vladimir in the mid lane. He's very, very safe. It's very easy to get to your tower with that pool. In top lanes, a lot of times what will happen is you lose your pool, and then you're still in danger anyway. And you have to keep on, just trying to get to that tower. The safety of the tower, of course, is absolutely massive. And hopefully my game decides to actually... Oh, there we go.
There it is.
There we go, League of Legends. You're a superstar.
Lil Balls, you have my favorite Skarner skin, and I am happy for that.
Your favorite Skarner skin? Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's
I
like the
that
Magic
one a lot.
the Gathering skin.
Isn't it? That's super cool.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. You see, we were seeing Olaf and Aneb on the same team, so we're seeing a lot of that Freljordian-esque icy champions. We saw some Olaf play earlier in the tournament from the CLG Black. I believe that Olaf actually got banned against Psycho Sid at one point. Olaf has been doing a lot of nasty punishing in this tournament, so it's going to be interesting to see how he plays in this matchup against potentially Janna, Vladimir, or Blitzcrank.
Yeah, absolutely. I do expect that Corki Blitzcrank lane to be able to put out a lot of damage anytime they manage to get one of those so imperative hooks from the Blitzcrank. And we're going to have to see if there's going to be any kind of invade pressure come here. Of course, that Blitzcrank team is almost always going to be looking for some kind of early pickoff if they can get it. It is, of course, very, very powerful if you do manage to get that hook off.
Indeed it is. And I think they just actually literally missed each other completely going into opposite bushes in mid lane.
This feels like a really awkward middle school dance right now. We do have the boys over here on the left side just waiting for one of the girls to come on and ask them to dance. We do see the blind hook trying to come out from Blitzcrank, but nobody going to be there to actually get the hook on.
That's true. That's true. We see a lot of wandering around into the bushes. There's a lot of pings going down for CLG Black going into Tri-Bush down here. They're checking out this bot lane, trying to figure out where everybody is, and Taipei Assassins are perfectly content to sit up in that bush by Wraiths, and they're pinging the bush. They're also going to start checking randomly for everybody. Nobody's going to find anyone else. I wonder how this is going to turn out.
Probably anticlimactic is my instinct, because they are literally about as far away from each other as you could possibly be.
That's really true. It's the worst game of hide and seek ever.
It's true. It's more like seek and seek. Nobody really hiding anywhere.
Yeah, it's more like seek and don't find.
There you go.
As we have Maokai going to take the Wraiths from Taipei Assassin. Skarner's Wraiths are going to be gone by the time he shows up. And it looks like Skarner just was content to go back to do his blue. So he's going to get counter-jungled rather severely, actually. It looks like they're going to take the red as well. And it also, but, in the same vein, Taipei Assassins are going to be stealing the red. And I think Olaf is onto this. Psycho Sid wandering in. He's going to throw some axes, and he might be able to get people off of it, though it doesn't look like it. They're not particularly scared. And Corki's going to end up with that red. That's going to be pretty rough.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to go ahead and put that Blitz Corki lane up here on top. Going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Olaf. Olaf not going to be able to do too much, especially with that red on Corki. Just a very, very awkward position for him to be in. I do not envy him one bit. But of course, now we do have a solo Janna down here bottom. She does have that teleport, but in a little bit of a dangerous position. You do see the Janna running that boots and 3-pot, one being a mana pot combination here. A little bit different than what you would normally see on her, but really going to have a lot of sustain to kind of just try to stay in here. But we're going to have to see how that works out for her.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm really intrigued by the swap. A long time ago, back in Season 1, when it used to be Mage tank bottom and AD carry mid, there was a tournament, they had that big tournament, and ever since then, we've seen support carry bot and mages mid, and now Taipei Assassins running support carry top lane. And, let's see how this works out for them. Maybe we can see another meta shift.
Yeah, the important thing is going to be able to see how much Olaf can be able to farm, at least, doing things like throwing those Qs out and just trying to get the little bit farm he needs here and there to get to those GB10 items. But we see that Janna is just in a very bad position here. Soraka able to put a lot of free harassment on her, and Graves as well with a very nice little buckshot there.
Yeah, that buckshot was brutal. Jana, I don't know how well Jana's going to be able to hold up against Soraka and Graves. You know, Graves is going to be able to farm really well, and Soraka would keep him alive under normal circumstances. It would be a rough match against Blitzcrank, who just grabs Olaf right now in the Ignite under the tower, and Corky's going to dive in, and he's going to get first blood with that red buff. Just one grab from Blitzcrank, and Olaf goes down from 100 to 0. That was a pretty rough play.
Yeah, you know, that's all it really takes. That red buff actually does a surprising amount of damage. Mokai going to come up here and try to at least hold the lane for Mokai. You know, doesn't want that experience to go to waste, doesn't want that gold farm, if he manages to pick it up, to go to waste as well. Going to do what he can here. But, you know, even he is in a lot of danger here, and they definitely do not want to give more buffs. Just barely missing that Blitzcrank hook. We see a lot of action down here in mid as well.
Yeah, a lot of action in mid. Yep, Vladimir's going to go down to the Ignite from Anivia, but Skarner's going to pop Anivia's egg, and it looks like he's also going to be able to just straight kill her before she can really do anything. Yep, so a trade Vladimir for Anivia in mid lane.
Yeah, thankfully they do get that assist gold as well, so Taipei Assassin's going to be a little bit okay with that exchange. But we're going to have to see. Thankfully, as well for Jana, she got a little bit of a reprieve here. Looks like they are going to send that Olaf bottom and do a little bit of a lane swap, putting that Soraka Graves back up there top. They don't want any of it. But look at this. Just as quickly as they do that, we see the Blitzcrank Corgi going bottom, and Jana, of course, has that teleport if she wants to use it. Otherwise, can just walk right back to that top lane.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate if you're CLG Black, because you're going to want to see that you're not going to want Olaf to get shut down, but they can switch really easily because Jana can run back to lane faster than almost any other champion.
Yeah, we do see that. The nice thing, though, is that Hood Snap on that Graves has been able to get a lot more consistent CS, and so he is sitting at about 10 above that Corki on the other team. But you do see a lot of aggression just coming out here. They're not afraid to put a lot of damage on that tower early as well. And this Olaf just has to be in a little bit of pain, knowing that he's in that same situation he just tried to get away from.
Yeah, I mean, and that's rough too. You know, he's got 12 CS, and all he has is boots and 5 pots. You know, there's not a whole lot he can do but hang out behind his minions and hope he doesn't get blitz grabbed and throw an axe occasionally. But then when the minions push to the turret, as we saw earlier, the blitz grab is free. You know, he's in range and he'll hook him every time if he's got, I mean, and this is top level play, so the aim is going to be precise.
Yeah, you do certainly hope so, but you have to keep in mind that a lot of times in these tournament situations there is a lot of pressure here on these players, and sometimes that just is just enough pressure to make you a little bit off in those skill shots, so we're going to have to see how well he can execute those consistently throughout the fight. We do see Skarner lining up to try to do something here on Anivia, not quite that level 6 Skarner, where he's really going to be able to put a lot of aggression here on that Anivia.
Yeah, you know, and Anivia with her egg down, ganking Anivia is really hard because of her egg in most situations. But the first one went over really well, and once he gets his ultimate, it's going to be really difficult for Anivia to push lane in fear of that Skarner.
Yeah, Skarner, a very scary base. Sometimes we don't see him quite as much. You know, that QSS is very strong against him, but it is now a little bit more expensive, gives you a little bit less benefit, and so it's a little bit of a disincentive to pick it up. Of course, it is very, very strong against him. So we're going to have to see not only who picks it up, but their timing on it. Does Anivia feel like she needs to get one? Does that AD carry on Graves feel like he needs to get one early, or will he save it for later, if at all? And it does look like we do have Maokai setting up for a little bit of a gank here top.
Yes, we do. Maokai coming in for that lane gank. I don't know how successful it's going to be since you know, try as they might, Jana is pushed right up onto her tower. It looks like he's just going to come in for it anyway and see what he can do. He's going to root Jana behind her tower and use blow his spells. She's going to monsoon to get out. And there's Skarner ready and waiting, so this is quickly turning bad for CLG Black. Maokai taking a tower shot, almost going down, the exhaust going onto Skarner, preventing anyone from dying in that engagement.
Yeah, another example of where Skarner would have loved to be level 6. Now a little bit of an awkward timing here. You see Skarner at about a 3rd HP while his blue is up. Will they choose to group up while they have 4 people here and try to actually take their blue? I'm not sure. It looks like they are not actually going to do something like that. I probably would have liked to see them at least try like that, but of course we do have that beautiful advantage of perfect vision of the map.
That's true, and Jana had that teleport ready, so she was immediately back into it, and I think she's going to come down here and help Skarner do this blue. As Vladimir doesn't need it, she might actually take it instead for help with that solo lane.
It doesn't look like that is going to be the situation. Yeah, that's a very nice little touch there. She's definitely going to love having that. Skarner's still not that level 6 yet. I'm really going to be looking for what lane he chooses to use that ever so important first ultimate on. You know, does he want to use it in this top lane, really try to hold down that Graves, or does he really want to punish this Anivia for not having that mobility in that mid lane? We're going to have to wait and see.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, we just saw a turret go down, an 8.5 minute turret in this game right here. And I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that strategy. You know, Olaf was getting punished so hard. He only has 31 CS compared to Corky's 62. So I don't know that it was necessarily a good idea to pop that turret then, because they could have prevented him from farming even more. But they're being really aggressive, and it looks like they're just going to run 3 people top lane and try to take another turret. So Taipei Assassins doing some really unorthodox strategies. I really like the way they're playing the game.
You know, I'm always a fan of movement. I love when teams are moving around, trying to make plays. Looks like we're going to have Blitz try to set something up here top.
Yep, there's a Blitz grab on a Hood Stomp. He's going to get grabbed by Blitz, and Corky is there. There's so much damage going down. Soraka's going to bust everything, but Graves is going to get vaporized. Here comes Zuna coming in to try and stop them from getting anything else on the tower, and it looks like he's going to be successful in that regard. But just the amount of damage that went down in that little engagement was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the thing is, yeah, they take the tower really early and Olaf can kind of farm, but look at the amount of pressure they're able to place on the actual game. Blitzcrank going for a hook, not going to land. And,
yeah, that's a pretty interesting strategy. You know, most American teams would want to keep it there, like I said earlier, to farm, but they're just going to push that tower down so they can go top and push that tower down. We see Link taking out Vladimir in middle. Stanley going down. Sorry, I didn't catch that, but Cumley's the one with the camera, so hopefully he did.
Oh, you know I got it.
Yeah, attaboy. And we see the 3-man push continuing. It looks like Blitzcrank and Jana actually are going to go back. So Olaf got a little bit of a break, and he's already caught up a little bit, 49 CS to Corky's 69. So he's only 20 down, whereas before he was 31 down. So he's going to catch back up, it looks like.
Yeah, and so, you know, it's really nice that Olaf is at least kind of catching up here in the CS, but the problem is that, like, he's had no influence in the game whatsoever. All of his efforts and struggles have been going towards just getting farm. He hasn't been able to pressure anybody in the game. He hasn't been able to, you know, work it on any ganks or really pressure or anything like that. All he's got for him right now is that he's catching up.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate if you're Olaf, but if you're the Taipei Assassins, you're rather pleased with the way your strategy is working out, I think. As Stanley running top lane, Jana going mid lane, they're just switching up lanes left and right. There are no such thing as a lane assignment in this game.
Yeah, I wish that I could, 1, be in their voice chat, and 2, understand a single word that they were saying so that I could hear all these calls and the reasons behind them. That would be absolutely fantastic. Look, Olaf is going to try to get away that ultimate, being a little snake.
Yeah, and, you know, Skarner, Blitzcrank, and Corky, that is not a group of 3 champions I would want to get caught in between.
Oh, heavens, no.
No. The reaching out and the touching is from Blitzcrank, coupled with the suppression and the slows and the Corky damage. It would just be brutal. And it looks like a dragon something was about to happen, but everybody backed off of that. Blitzcrank launching a grab. Couldn't quite reach Psycho Sid in the bush.
Yeah, it looks like it was just a little bit of dragon pressure. If they were going to be able to get it for free, they were going to take it. But as soon as they saw any kind of sense of resistance, they went ahead and dropped that idea real quick. We do see Hood Stomp really trying to put a lot of pressure onto this tower, but Taipei Assassin Stanley doing a nice job of doing a lot of damage.
Stanley's doing a lot of damage with that Q, and it only gets stronger the more Tides of Blood he's able to dish out. So Stanley's doing a pretty decent job at holding this lane against Soraka and Graves, so the tower is probably going to go down soon unless they can get a gank on top lane, which it looks like they're moving to do a little bit. Oh, maybe not. Skarner's going back, and it looked like Jana was going to move up there, but it doesn't appear so, and ultimately that she will do that.
Yeah, we do see them moving around here quite a bit. Everybody trying to set something up. You see Taipei Assassins continuing to try to get that movement going, trying to, you know, find those weak spots in the other team's defense so that they can take advantage of it.
This game is extremely mobile. No one has been staying in the same place for very long.
Yeah, that is true. And I love seeing that, you know, because the more movement and more decisions you're forcing your opponents to make, the more opportunities you have to go ahead and outplay them.
That's absolutely true. And speaking of opportunities to outplay somebody, there's about to be a 4-man dragon engagement from either side. CLG Black just going for it, but the Taipei Assassins are flanking from both directions. Skarner's running around the bottom. Hopefully he can make it in time to get this team fight. It looks like that CLG Black might be able to take this dragon. They do, but everyone is there now. Vladimir's putting down his hemo plate. Corky's doing a lot of burst damage. People are flashing. Skarner's got the suppression. Blitzcrank's going to pick up a kill on Maokai. Graves is going to take out Skarner. Vladimir's going to take out Olaf. Blitzcrank gets a double kill as he's going to take out Graves as well. And Corki's going to go down to Anivia. Stanley trying to tower dive, not going to happen. Blitzcrank chasing down Anivia right now. There's this Frost Spike, not quite enough to kill Janna. So it ends up being a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Taipei Assassins.
Yeah, you saw the Hemo Plague from Vlad doing absolute work that fight. Really able to put out a lot of damage very, very quickly because of that. So, nice to see the good positioning there by both teams. And a lot of really nice execution. You see just how low that the Anivia is hanging out and farming.
Yeah, CLG Black did get the dragon, but they did end up losing 2 kills. The ultimate result is that the gold difference is now a little less than 1K in favor of Taipei Assassins.
Yeah, so a little bit of a gold advantage here. But, the problem is that they've had a lot of map pressure. They've been really trying to hold people down, but it's not capitalizing too much yet. Only 1,000 gold and 2 kill advantage right now, and they don't quite have a lot of those opportunities they've been looking for. We'll have to see if they can tighten up a little bit here, find some more chinks in the armor, and really kind of drive home the message that they're the ones that are controlling the map.
Yeah, I mean, and they really are everywhere at this point. The Taipei Assassins have just been all over the map, and even if the players could know somehow, we're the only ones who know the gold difference, but even if they could know somehow the gold difference, it would I imagine it still feels really hectic, especially if you're CLG Black, that just the Taipei Assassins seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, and it makes them feel very consistently uncomfortable. We do see some very nice wording coming out here from CLG Black, and they're doing a very nice job of just having that vision that gives them the confidence, again, to really move around and farm as much as possible.
Yeah, and that's really great wording by CLG Black, because they do need to know where these guys are since they're so mobile.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I mean, look at, just 4 people mid right now. You have everyone except Janna in the mid lane, and Blitzcrank now has that Oracle. He's going to be taking out wards, so Blitzcrank building to counter. He has that Heart of Gold and a Kindle Gem along with a Fairy Charm, so a little bit scattered item choices right now, not the traditional GP5s we usually see in the North American servers in Blitzcrank. He's got a little bit of a varied build. And we have Janna and Graves just sort of alone up top. Janna keeps going down and around in order to ward and potentially participate in activities middle. But this game is more of a dance than any game I've seen in a while.
Yeah, we do see Graves going for that early Bloodthirster. Going to have quite a bit of AD build off from that. A lot of times when I see Graves do that really early Bloodthirster, it's followed with a smokescreen leveling build. They really want to be kind of a very offensive nuker with those spells, but he is going for the more traditional build as well. It's just kind of picking up that early Bloodthirster. Really wants that early damage as soon as possible. Going to give him a nice little bit of sustain in team fights as well.
Yeah, and it's really important on Graves in particular because he's doing so much damage that when you're able to get that sustain, that's really helpful.
Yes, absolutely, as they say in no part of the world. And so we're going to see right now, what does Taipei Assassins want to do? Where are they going to continue to put the pressure? Are they going to continue to kind of do this grouping up of taking objectives, things like dragons, things like towers, and how aggressive do they want to be and where on the map?
Well, that's a good question, and I think, it seems to be working out for them, except in the department of CS. The CLG Black team has a pretty good CS lead on the Taipei. Oh, well, as we see some things go down, Anivia had to flash over the wall to get away from that gank in mid lane. But the Taipei Assassins, because they're moving around so much, are not quite as up on their CS as CLG Black is. So that's something that, should that pattern continue, will end up hurting them in the long run. However, they do have every tower except for mid down, whereas CLG Black only has the top tower down. So, and they're also 2 kills ahead. So they've been managing to apply pressure, and I think if they can just keep applying pressure on every lane as they are doing right now, it's going to work out well for them.
Yeah, and I love this style. I love this very active style. I said it again and again. You need to be able to put yourself in a position where your opponents can mess up. And the more ways you're able to do that, the more ways you're able to outplay them and take advantage of it. And we don't see enough of that in League of Legends, and that's exactly what we're seeing this game. Blitz looking for a pull here and missing on several targets. It looks like they are still going to try to get some kind of initiation. Nivea very successfully going to zone them away from that idea.
Yeah, that was a very close grab he just had. And now it looks like, look at that Blitzcrank, he's just zoning, running right up next to those bushes, making people get out. And we're going to see a lot of just an attempts to poke down this tower in mid lane. And if it does go down, I do believe we're going to see a very aggressive initiation from Taipei Assassins.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of action, very, very focused, very, very early in the game. You know, a lot of times at this point, there's no kind of barren pressure or anything like that. It's just both teams kind of afraid of losing that map positioning. But we do see Taipei Assassins the first to really spread out and try to get these farming resources. And now there's going to be a little bit of a time here where you see a lot of people TPing back to home. They're not getting these farm up that we were talking about. You know, Taipei Assassins a little bit behind on CS, but right now what they're doing is catching up.
Yeah, that's definitely true. You know, and you look at the gold counts right now, and Corky has 2,000 gold just laying around in his pocket. The next most of any other champion is Vladimir with 1,100 gold just laying around. So a lot of backing is expected here. Corky and Vladimir both appear to have. Oh, Vladimir is still. Oh, there's a grab onto Maokai in the middle lane. He's gonna get that onto the tower, and a bunch of damage going down. The ignite is on him, but it's not gonna be enough to kill him. Skarner also got ignited and almost took fatal damage, but neither of them are dead.
Yeah, we did see that wish coming out here from this rocket being played by Bloodwater, and just enough to keep that alive, keep that that Mokai alive, I should say. And so really nice job. You know, the healing power of Soraka is just so strong. We're going to see a lot of really big shields and ultimates come out from this AP Janna as she gets more and more items. We do have the DFG picked up on her. Gives her the ability to get a little bit of burst, participate a little bit more actively in the fight. They do pull the blue buff here.
They pulled blue buff. That was a pretty sweet little maneuver they did right there. I was assuming that it was just going to be a missed grab, but in fact he did end up yanking the blue buff over the wall. Really well done by Blitzcrank there.
And the AP Janna able to pick that up, going to be able to continue farming, continue to pressure the lanes, I should say. And it looks like we're going to still have more group up here by CLG.
Yes, indeed. CLG Black going for another dragon, and we have Vladimir, Skarner, and Janna all in position to contest, but Corky and Blitzcrank are not with them, and Anivia walls are just going to make it so that CLG Black is able to take the second dragon relatively easily, putting them back in about 500k gold difference in favor of Taipei Assassins.
Yeah, it is a very, very close game. I am loving this game so far. We do see a lot of action brewing here up in mid.
Yeah, there's a missed Blitzcrank grab, but the Skarner pull is successful. The silence from Blitzcrank, and it looks like we're going to see a kill on Maokai. Corky's going to pick that one up, and the Hemo Plague is down on purple team, and Corky doing a lot of damage on that tower. He's going to have to Valkyrie out to avoid getting killed to death by the tower, and we see everyone on CLG Black looking to go back, whereas everyone on Taipei Assassins is relatively healthy, and it looks like they're just going to push that turret down.
Yeah, you do see that Janna ultimate coming out just to heal everybody up enough to go ahead and pressure that tower. I love little plays like that. They knew that they wanted it. They've been sieging for so long. But again, what we're seeing in this game over and over again is these fights that seem like really big, epic battles, and then nobody dies.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. That's one of the main differences that a lot of more normal ELO, I would say, if there isn't a such thing as a normal ELO, lower ELO players, 1500s and below, don't really see team fights lasting for this long with no one dying. But at this upper level play, people engage, disengage, re-engage, and nobody dies sometimes.
Yeah, I wish I could have thought of some more engage words to add to that list, but I think you had it pretty much covered. And, yeah, and you see very good timing on things like Soraka heals and Janna shields and just all these ultimates coming out very in sync, and it leads both to a lot of damage coming up but a lot of protection as well.
Yeah, it's just, especially when you have Janna building AP, her shield is going to be doing quite a bit. As of right now, it appears that she does have 168 ability power, so that's going to make her shield do a lot for the Taipei Assassins.
Yeah, it looks like both teams, again, looking for a little bit of engagement here. Blitzcrank wants the hook so badly. You can just feel it. His little wheels going as fast as they can, trying to catch up, but nothing going to come from it.
The little engine that could, this Blitzcrank. He's always there. He's always getting those pulls, and he's gotten a few of them, some really good ones, resulting in kills. Blitzcrank camping that little corner like Blitzcrank tends to do when he's on the blue side. And we're going to see another tower attempt. Blitzcrank pulling Maokai through the wall. Really well done. Janna trying to ult, but is going to get taken down by Psycho Sid. I hear a Skarner ultimate, and it looks like nothing's going to come of it. We're going to see Link take out Vladimir, and we're going to see Link also take out Skarner, ending a double kill in that fight. So an engagement there, a Blitzcrank pull, really nice, but unfortunately for Taipei Assassins, CLG Black was far more ready for it that time, and ended up getting 3 kills for none.
Yeah, well, part of the problem was you saw the Blitzcrank initiation come and pull him over to this side of the screen, but they were already initiating up here on the top side of the lane, and there was very little they could do to actually prevent that Olaf. When he has a target in mind, he's generally going to go ahead and get to it, and we saw that as he got to that Janna and blew her up big time.
Yes, indeed. If there's anything Olaf is good at, it's blowing up squishy characters. And he is doing pretty well now, considering how behind he was earlier in this game. He has 2 GP5s, he's got cooldown shoes, and he has a Warmogs. The same Olaf build that we saw being run in one of the earlier games where Olaf was able to dominate Irelia top lane with a very similar build. So now he's doing a great job building that health and just able to put out a lot of true damage with those cooldown boots.
KDH.
Yes, sir.
Can we have a mature discussion about how close this game is right now? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's extremely close. The kill 7-7. The goal difference 100.
100.
100-ish.
Yeah, 100-ish.
Yeah, 100 or less at any given time. This game is neck and freaking neck. It is clutch. It is as clutch as you could possibly get in a game, and that's what makes League of Legends so exciting. Is everyone? It's such a game of team coordination, and really it's about whether or not one team is going to get a better strategy and pull it together with more brilliant decision making to win a game, especially at this level where everyone's skill is all equal.
Yeah, I mean, that's always what it comes down to, is who at this point is going to find the place to get that really solid advantage and push ahead. And a lot of it is going to come down to those super important objectives. You know, the next Dragon spawn, wouldn't be surprised if we saw a really big engagement there. A lot of wards and oracles should be moving around that area to prepare for that in advance. I wish I paid enough attention to actually know the timer on Dragon, but I don't. Yeah. And then, of course, pretty soon here, at some point in the game, we are going to be seeing a lot of action around Baron. I'm going to expect to see a lot of posturing, a lot of attempts at poking, because every little bit of damage is going to go into making those team fights just be so important.
Absolutely true, and you see a whole bunch of pings. Oh man, Blitzcrank grabs Anivia over the blue wall, Skarner suppression, and Anivia's egg is down. They're definitely going to be able to, well, maybe they'll be able to take her out before she respawns. It looks like they will. Corki's going to pick up the kill as Vladimir comes down from middle lane. That was a wonderful pull by Blitzcrank, and Psycho Sid's going to have to run out the other direction, as are Graves, Soraka, and Maokai. The Taipei Assassin with a really wonderful blitz pull. Oh, another great blitz pull over the wall there to get Hood Stomp. Blitzcrank gets 2 really incredible pulls, and Corki 2 really incredible kills as they take this blue buff and are almost certainly going to go down and get Dragon when it spawns afterwards. Really great play there.
Blitzpull is pretty good. Not sure if you knew that or not. It's a pretty good skill.
It's a decent skill, especially if you can land it. As we just saw, Mistake Lulz just doing great work on Blitzcrank this game. He's been landing really clutch pulls all game, and those two were picture worthy. If you were watching the stream, I hope you screen capped them.
Yeah, I hope you did, so you can make it into an animated GIF and play it over and over again every day to inspire you in your own Blitz play.
And in life in general.
Yeah.
Those were some really great pulls.
Yeah, I'm going to change my license plate to Blitz Pull, because, oh my gosh.
Because, wow. We're looking now at some items as everyone goes back after that incredibly stressful and climactic engagement. Dragon is up right now. It was not got by the Taipei Assassins immediately after that fight, though Bevel is a dog as Corki coming in to start the Dragon, and it looks like the Taipei Assassins are going to end up taking this one relatively uncontested.
Yeah, speaking of that, Corki, we do see about 9,300 gold farm compared to the 8,200 on Graves, so he does have a nice little lead on him so far. He is rolling as well with an Elixir of Fortitude, just to have a little bit more health and, of course, a little bit more attack damage, mixing up being a little bit saucy during those team fights. Every little bit is going to count when the game is this close.
Give him a little bit of extra oompah to really make this song bump, and we're going to see the Wraith Camp be taken. Everyone's starting to move as a unit now. Blitzcrank checking Baron for wards. There are no Baron wards. That Lightning Bolt made Baron a little upset. He's going to spit on him a couple of times. I don't know why he insisted ulting there. Oh, just so we could continue checking, I see. So he does not proc that. He sees the ward in there. That's really awesome. They're going to be able to take that out. So good job for Taipei Assassins. Maokai coming around. And we're going to see a sapling go in there. He does know that they are not presently doing Baron. And CLG Black is definitely going to go put some wards in there at their next available opportunity. There's one from Soraka.
Yeah, you saw an interesting dynamic there where Maokai knew that there was a ward there, but doesn't dare counter it because, of course, Blitz was standing right here and has no hesitation to pull him in and blow him up. Have to be extremely careful when they go to counter ward that.
That is very true. Blitzcrank is really doing a great job of making sure everybody knows that he's going to pull you. He's just going to pull you.
He's gonna pull you.
So don't be next to places where there might be a Blitzcrank.
Speaking
of... Oh my goodness! Speaking of that, what another excellent pull by Blitzcrank on a hood stomp. Mistake Walls is writing the book on how to pull people. This is ridiculous. If you want to play Blitzcrank, you need to tune into this game right now and or watch the VOD later. That is incredible. As we see an engagement going on, Zuna's going to be taken out by Corky, and Bloodwater getting pushed around by Jana. Results in a double kill for Corky, who also got the kill on Hood Stomp earlier. So 3 more kills for Bevel is a Dog. Going 8-1-3 so far. He's got his Triforce Bloodthirster. He pops that Fortitude Pot as they move towards Baron. What a great series of plays.
Blitzhook is pretty good.
It's okay if you know how to land it.
It has its moments. Let's go ahead and say that. But of course, fantastic play there by the Taipei Assassins. We see how quickly they lock him down and blow him up. Very, very nice job by that. Looks like CLG wants to try to set something up here against this Baron. They do know what's going on. They even know that they know what's going on, and they're just not afraid. They're going for the kill here.
That's true. And Nivea's going to come in and see what she can do. Oh. She steals the Baron! And Nivea steals Baron. What a play by Link. Going all in, just flashing the wall and spiking that Baron. He makes that steal and does an incredible job. Yes, he died, but well done, Link. That was an excellent maneuver, even in spite of the smite that Skarner wasn't even able to pop smite in time. Lil Balls couldn't get that off before Nivea had hopped the wall. So well done by Link. The gold lead is now back to only about 4,000.
Yeah, you know, it is because he's playing that patriotic Anivia skin, saying this is America, and we're going to show you how we handle Baron on the NA server.
In the North American server, we flash the wall and spike that thing with a frostbolt.
That's right.
That is what we do in America, says Link. and you know, what a game of turnarounds and complexity. The Blitzcrank really is the key factor so far. 2-0-9. Just really getting those clutch pulls, but CLG Black playing a hell of a game, and it is not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. We have with that not even a smite steal, with the Frostbolt steal from Anivia Link there. That's the play of the game so far, I think.
Yeah, you might say he stole it with the ice pick. I say he stole it with pure bravery. And you know, we joke about it being like a really brave and awesome move, but it's actually really, really important that it happened, because at that point, the Taipei Assassin secures Baron as well. They're in just such a devastating position to siege the crap out of their towers, but thankfully they're able to prevent that. We do see Shirelli blown here. Will they have a nice initiation?
Yeah, they're looking to get out. The Nivea, Maokai, and Olaf were on their way. That was not a good fight for them, and so Jana with the disengage. Not surprisingly, these two teams continue to dance around each other. And, you know, surprisingly, only one inner turret is down. The mid turret for CLG Black, the second mid turret is down. It is the only inner turret of the game right now. As CLG Black pushes up bottom lane, they have a pretty nice creep wave on its way. So we're going to see an engagement, I think, on this tower.
Yeah, we are going to at least see a siege. The role kind of reversed here. You know, CLG knows that they have that really great regen, and they want to, you know, siege these towers. They want to take the advantage back. They want to take not only the momentum, but the gold lead itself, and getting a few towers is a really, really effective way of doing that.
Definitely, and what they have to be careful of is that Blitzcrank that's been wreaking havoc for them so often in other parts of the map. You know, on sieging a tower is the place where Blitzcrank does the most work. So they have to be really careful of that and make sure that they maintain their creep wave so Blitz can't get a hold on him. Stanley and Lil Balls running around top now. We're going to see Shirelia's into this bush. I think they thought that somebody might have been camping. Unfortunately, for them, nobody is. Blitzcrank again tries to pull through the Wraith Wall. Is not going to land. And CLG Black is going to stun Blitzcrank. Maokai's going to go in with the root. And we're going to see Skarner pull Maokai. Oh, that was an aggressive maneuver that did not work out for Maokai right there. Corky getting another kill. The Hemo Plague going down. And it looks like we're going to see CLG Black back off. Blitzcrank is not going to land that pull somehow. It looked like it connected to me. Maybe he landed on Olaf, who was ulting.
That is actually a distinct possibility as to what happened. But that was great. I did not expect the fight to go that way. As soon as I saw that Blitzcrank stun, I thought he was in for a world of hurt.
As did I. But, you know, I don't think Maokai's team was with him. I think Zuno went in a little too quickly for everyone else to react. And because of that, Blitzcrank was able to just turn right around and yank him over.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to go ahead and just steal this red and then get out of the jungle. They don't want to be in too much danger here. But we have a little bit left here on this Baron buff. I'm not sure, they do not have enough time to do anything significant with it. But are they going to group up again and continue to try to do some kind of sieging here? And, you know, one thing that I've really seen this game so far that I've really liked from this Blitzcrank is that he's not afraid to miss hooks. You know, if he suspects that somebody might be in a bush, just hook it, right? Because if you do hit it, then suddenly you gain a massive amount of lead in the game. You pick off somebody very important. And if you miss it, well, it's just down for a little bit. It's not a big deal.
That's true. He is picking, and he picked up Dragon right there. With his CDR, his Rocket Grab is a 13.6 second cooldown. So it's a little bit of a wait, but as you said, Cumley, I think that's the mark of a really confident and really strong Blitzcrank player, is that you're going to miss hooks. Nobody lands every hook. So use them. And if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you don't. But when you get it, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, something that we touched on at the beginning of the game as well was going to be the QSS timings. We did see Anivia go ahead and just pick one up. Is tired of that threat of the Skarner ultimate always being over her head. Really wants to be able to put out that damage in the team fight, put out that control. It's so important that she is setting the tempo of the fight for CLG, and it hasn't been happening, partially because of the threat of the Skarner, or the Skarner actually getting those ultimates off, and so now that won't be as much of a factor having that QSS.
That's true. QSS is going to make a lot of difference for her there, and especially with her egg being up. I don't know if it's up right now. It does appear to be up right now, which is great for her. With QSS and her egg, she should be able to do just fine in these team fights now and not have to worry so much about Skarner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's going to be actually be really important. We're going to see a lot more team fight control coming out from this CLG team. And so we're going to have to see now, again, the question is, what is the next major conflict going to be? You know, Baron not up, not going to be up for a little bit here. There's no even Dragon up. There's not even any buffs up. And so who is going to posture where right now? We have the creeps meeting here in the middle, exactly the middle of the map. It's Destiny.
Yeah, it is. It's Destiny. We're gonna see an engagement, I think, in this middle lane. We've got the Taipei assassins coming into that bush that is warded. They know it's warded now, and they took that ward out, so we're not going to see that engagement. But, you know, you're looking at the builds right now. The one that is most interesting and probably the most potentially dangerous, I think, is a Vladimir, who has a lot of ability power, which also means he has a lot of HP. Vladimir has 3,500 HP right now and 434 ability power. And that Hemo Plague, as you said earlier, is doing work in team fights. So it's going to be really important for them to do something about that Vladimir, because he's healing a lot off of everything. Garner also, the Aegis and the Shirelias with the Boots of Moby is going to be able to get everywhere if he's able to. And you're going to notice Corki also, Last Whisper, Bloodthirster, Triforce, Zeal. That's a dangerous combination of items.
Yeah, you know, we see about a little bit over 2,000 gold ahead of that Graves. Are we going to see a nice pull here by Blitz? It doesn't look like it. He doesn't want to rush it. He's not in a rush to always get a hook just because he can. Going to take his time, going to reposition with this fight. You see the communication of Taipei Assassin seems to be very, very well this game. They are going right here on this Baron, though.
Yep, CLG Black not afraid to just start that Baron, and Nivea's wall is going to go down and make sure that it's going to be difficult for the Taipei Assassin to get in. Really well done there. But Baron is almost on its way down. Are they going to be able to get it? Blitzcrank flashes in. It looks like CLG Black does get Baron, but at what cost? The Vladimir ultimate has gone down. Stanley's going to pick up Bloodwater, and we're going to see a lot of flashes being popped. Hoodstomp is going to take out Lil Balls, and Hoodstomp is going to go down to Bebel as a dog, who's going to continue to put out a lot of damage. Stanley's going to take out Psycho Sid, and Link is being chased now by Blitzcrank. Bebel as a dog is going to pick up Maokai, and Link is the only one left alive, and he is running for his life. I don't know that he's necessarily going to be able to get anything out of it. He is going to kill Bebel as a dog as Corki. Well done by Link there, but he's not going to make it out with his life. The Taipei Assassins are going to get an ace off of that Baron fight. Everyone's pretty low, though, so I'm not sure how much pushing they're going to be able to do, but it was really well executed by them.
Yeah, getting that Baron and then all dying, the buff kind of going to waste. Thankfully, they do, of course, prevent Taipei Assassins from going ahead and taking immediately after, as well as getting the gold advantage, which is not too subtle. But you see about a 5k, a little bit under 5k lead here coming out for Taipei Assassins.
And I'm checking, rewinding a little bit just because I want to see who Skarner ended up pulling in that team fight. I'm not entirely certain who it was.
Well, you get that. I want to watch them destroy this tower.
Yes, you do that. I want to check and see who it was, because I don't think it was onto Anivia, knowing that he had that. No, he forwent the pull on Anivia and just rushed. He rushed for Hood Stomp, actually, so we ended up getting the Graves with the pull in that team fight.
Yeah, which is, of course, very, very important. We see just how huge those Janna shields are in the team fight. They're actually, preventing a lot of damage from coming out to important targets. We do see the QSS, the second QSS being picked up here by this Graves, right? Which is really nice. It's a nice advantage to have. Your Skarner almost forcing them to pick it up. They're not allowed to get something like a Guardian Angel, which is typically what you would expect as kind of the major defensive item to just kind of come back from death. No matter what kind of burst comes out on them, they are always allowed to come back into that fight and keep fighting.
Yeah, and it's always better to make sure they have to get a QSS instead. A lot of people, there's a lot of debate in whether or not QSS is fair by people who frequently play champions like Skarner or Malzahar or Warwick, who have the suppression ultimates. But ultimately, no pun intended, ultimately you end up making them spend money on an item solely to get out of your ultimate. So and at the end of the day, I would argue is worth it just for that deterrent.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, that sixth item slot is a very, very important thing. That's why we see somebody like Victor struggling, because the sixth item spot is spoken for. And if you have the same kind of situation where you make it spoken for by having that Skarner on your team, it's certainly an advantage.
Yes, definitely. And the Quicksilver Sash is not a bad item by any stretch of the imagination, but in addition to its magic resistance, the active is the only thing about it that's really worthwhile. So once you pop that active, you basically have more or less a useless item.
Yes.
So there is that. We looked at the Taipei Assassins builds and noted their effectiveness. Let's take a look at the builds on CLG Black. Soraka only has boots, Shurelias, and a hog, which is not really doing her a lot of favors. We've got Maokai with the Aegis and the Frozen Heart. He's got the Negatron Cloak and the Mertreads. He is there solely to soak damage. We've got Graves with BF Sword, Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and a Phantom Dancer. So almost the same as Corki, except instead of the Triforce, he's got that extra BF Sword. We've got Anivia with Void Staff, Death Cap, Chalice of Harmony, Rod of Ages, Sork Shoes. So she's putting out a lot of damage. And Olaf, he's going with the Warmogs and the Randuins for that slow. He's got a Hex Drinker to soak up some of that magic damage from the Taipei Assassins. So they're built a little bit more sturdy, a little bit less damage than the Taipei Assassins are.
Yeah, and we're seeing more and more now the game really kind of steamrolling. The first team that was able to find those advantages and really execute well in that last team fight was kind of what Taipei Assassins was looking for. There's now a 10-kill lead. A lot of this credit is, of course, going to this blitz we've seen over and over again. The amount of kills which give the advantages to Taipei Assassins that he's very personally and very directly set up.
Yeah, Mistake Lulls is just, his precision with those hooks is incredible, and some of the pulls he's managed to get onto the enemy champions has really been the difference in this game.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to have to see, as the game goes on, no matter what, it's always going to be relevant. That skill never got him to see Corki jumping over the wall and then Blitzcrank pulling the blue buff away from him.
Yeah, that was just crazy. And there's, as you said, there's no point in the game where a Blitzcrank pull is not useful.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know if you got that memo or not. It's pretty good. Let's trying to set up something here, but it's not gonna click. It's not gonna connect. But of course, once again, always going for those hooks whenever he feels the urge, whenever he thinks it's a possibility. The investment is almost always worth it.
Yes, and CLG Black right now having to play a little bit back towards the tower, not able to go out and really get buffs, farm the jungle, push their lanes out too much, because at this point the game has sort of rocked into the favor of Taipei Assassins. But that's not to say that they are down and out in a teamfight situation, because if there's anything this game has taught us, is that both teams are very good at killing each other in the right circumstances.
Yeah, that is true. We do see, let's switch back to items. We do see Vladimir picking up that Zonia's. They give him additional survivability in the team fights as well. You know, he releases that initial burst, and then he's going to be able to hide in his little golden shield and come back and do some more damage after that. So it's a really nice pickup by him.
And not to mention the pool as well. When he buys Zonia's Hourglass, he effectively has 2 Zonia's Hourglasses.
I like that. The double Hourglass build.
Yeah. The active does stack, but only if you're Vlad.
There you go. There we go. So do you see, the decent pickups, I'm a little bit surprised. If you looked at just the scoreboard, if this was all you were able to look at right now, you would say, oh my goodness, Taipei Assassins has been rolling over this entire game, but that's not been the case. We've seen a lot of really intense posturing, a lot of very close calls. And it feels like now we're finally starting to see the payoff for Taipei Assassins. Their advantages are finally enough to really be significant in team fights, and we're going to have to see how the rest of this game goes, and if CLG can figure out a way to punish them. Maybe when this next Baron comes up, if they're able to get a steal, if they're able to kind of have a really, really nice initiation, that might be the only thing that's going to get them back into this game.
I would agree with that, and I think the best way to ensure that, honestly, is if you can somehow manage to catch them at Baron during a team fight. I mean, if they're doing Baron and you can get the jump on them while they're doing Baron, I think, honestly, that's going to make the difference, because Baron does a lot of damage, and it doesn't really matter at what point of the game you're in. He's going to hurt your team because he just does so much damage. And so if you can catch a team at Baron with them unawares, you can turn the tide of a game just by the fight on the Baron. Unfortunately, this Blitzcrank is the ultimate Guardian and is really has not been caught unawares all game.
Yeah, so really, really great positioning by them. Of course, that Baron going completely uncontested, and now the siege begins. Call the peasants into the castle. The siege is about to begin. Indeed,
that Baron is totally uncontested now, and so something else you notice, speaking of Guardian Angels, Corki has managed to pick that one up. So he's going to be it's going to be interesting how CLG Black decides to deal with this Corki, as he is 12, 2, and 6, and really not interested in anyone else's bullcrap.
Yeah, so the question now here is, does Taipei Assassins want to be patient? Do they want to very slowly poke down this tower, or are they looking for some kind of really big initiation? Of course, a blitz pull will set that off into motion.
Yes, it will, and they're obviously looking to snag that from whatever angle they possibly can. They've got those wards over the walls. Soraka is taking them out with her oracles, which is really great for CLG Black. The siege at this point, everyone knows, I think, that this next team fight is probably going to be the last team fight that this game has. So we're making some big plays happen, and I'm not entirely sure what's going to be available. But Blitzcrank is just waiting and ready. He's ready for that pull, as you can see, moving back and forth, just itching to get his hands on somebody.
Yeah, you can almost feel the tension in the air as these two teams are in a complete standoff, and then we see little bursts of action just like that as they're clearing creep waves, and now they'll probably pull right on back, and the tension is back.
Yeah, that blitz pull went over the wall and was not able to hook anybody, so we're going to see him back off and maybe try other avenues, other lanes, if you will, to get into this base.
Yeah, it does look like Vladimir is going to go here and push this bottom lane as well. They want to have the entire base zoned off with creeps so that they can come in from any angle that they want to. They always have that vision advantage as well, those creeps going up into the base.
Blitzcrank trying another pull over the wall was not successful, so the wait goes on. Vladimir is at full build at 6 items right now. Corki is as well. We see on the other team, on CLG Black, we see that no one has quite reached a full build yet, except, well, not even Anivia, because she still has that Chalice that hasn't upgraded into a Grail yet. So 2 characters fully built on Taipei Assassins. No one has quite reached that level yet on CLG Black. The CS scores in this game are outstanding. Janna has 394 CS right now. I have never seen a game where someone had 400 CS. I've never seen that before. And it's probably going to happen this game, which is just nuts.
Well, if it continues to go like this, there's going to be a lot of people that have over 400 CS. We do see 384 on this Grave, 368 on the Anivia. A lot of people approaching that mark very, very quickly.
381 on Vladimir, 358 on Corki. So this game has had a lot of CS despite the early mobility and lane absence of a lot of the champions.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna have to see again. The point kind of comes at this point, like, are they looking? They're just patiently waiting for that blitz grab, and once the blitz grab comes, they're going to be able to do amazing things. They are pushing all 3 lanes right now. They are saying enough is enough. We are going to pressure you properly. Doing a little bit of split pushing here with the Vlad on top. They are going to get this tower,
Yep.
and are they going to look for a follow-up initiation?
I would imagine they will. Blitzcrank is ready to grab somebody. I imagine that as soon as these outer towers go down, it's going to be mayhem inside of this base. The outer tower has gone down bot lane, and there's some missiles going down from Corki. There's a Shirelius by Maokai. Blitzcrank is overdriving. It looks like they're going to try to go for this inhibitor, and Vladimir is looping around back. There's a blitz grab onto Anivia. He got her. She flashed the Jana Tornado. The damage is down. The Hemo Plague is down. Anivia's been egged. We see a lot of damage going on. A Hood Stomp from Bebel is a Dog. Hood Stomp's going to get out of there. Bloodwater finally going down to Vladimir. Blitzcrank landing another grab on the Maokai. Bebel is a Dog taking out Psycho Sid. Toys all taking out Link. Another kill for Corki. John is going to end up getting killed by Anivia, but that is going to be an ace with a triple kill for Bebel is a Dog at the end of that team fight, giving Taipei Assassins the victory. Really great game with a really climactic finish. Congratulations to both teams, and congrats on the victory for Taipei Assassins.
Oh, such a good game, such a good ending. That last team fight was absolutely beautiful. You saw the power of Taipei's advantages building over and over and over again through the last half of that game, finally paying off and doing amazing work.
Indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Taipei Assassins versus CLG Black. What a great game.